Good day, context traders. I would like to go over with you trades for May 23rd, 2025. Now, I have up here on my left, I have my 1 hour chart just because we had a bit of a gap down day, a pretty good gap down. And so I wanted to show a little bit bigger picture of where we're at over here before we get into the day's trades. Now, those of you who follow my videos know that anytime we have a significant gap, my initial bias is that we want to try to fill some of the gap. Of course, there is that chance that it continues to run in the direction that it gaps, but on a big gap day, I'm expecting at least the initial impulse is to come back into the gap some. However, let's look here where we're at on the little bit higher time frames on the hour. We have a good gap down. We also have some gaps below that it looks like we need to fill to bring market back to efficiency. So I wouldn't have been just totally surprised if this chopped around in here and then tried to rip down lower. That wouldn't have been crazy for that to have happened. But I'm looking at where are we in relation? We know that price cannot get too far away from the 21 before it needs to come back. We had this big gap down. We look over here to the left. What do we have? We have an impulse up, correction, and then a blast out. So this looks like a little bit of a return to the scene of the crime here, where it's going to potentially have a reaction again. So again, my initial bias is going to be to the upside until proven otherwise. Okay. So let me bring this back to the 5 minute chart we're at here. All right. So 5 minute chart, all synced up. So I have my executions over here on the 1 minute. I'll talk through what I was looking for. Um, but we open, we push down. As soon as this bar hesitates and starts pushing back up, I entered a partial position. And again, I did go a little bit lighter here. I didn't go with my full position size um, because this was a quick move and I wanted to layer into this. So I was going a half position, thinking in case this pulled a little lower, I wanted to be able to add another half in the dollar cost average to see this move back or kill the trade if it just started really ripping against me. So I got in partial position here. 2 minutes later, I put the other half in on this candle as we started to see 1, 2, 3 minutes, no follow through to the downside, and we start pushing up. I also see this on the 2 minute now looks really nice. We have this 2 minute rocket bar pushing back up. And as soon as we clear those highs, I'm feeling pretty good that this is going to at least make the average move up. So we go from right in here around this. So I'm dollar cost averaged in. I'm really right around 505.80, 505.85 average. And so we get this impulse up and we push clear into 508.70. And as this starts to falter, I just killed this trade. I did not wait for a retrace. If this had happened maybe 45 minutes or an hour into the day, I may be holding, looking for a minor correction and then a continuation. But because we had a good gap down, because this is the first move out of the day, I'm trading just the leg. I'm just going to get this quick leg and I'm out. So got this nice move up. We held here for a couple minutes. And what do we see? We see a nice rocket bar finishing here on the 2 minute, pushing back down. We see we have our overhead moving averages. Does the price maybe want to try to come back down? Maybe come back to where we opened, maybe drop a little lower to get some liquidity, come back up. So I'm looking at a potential quick put in here. So we come down, we rocket up. This bar here, this is the 642 Pacific candle for me. That would be 942 Eastern. We push up, but we can't get higher. We stall out right here in the same zone. So that to me is triggering the put, right? We came down, rocket bar up. Next bar should follow through. Next bar should challenge to get at least higher and get into those wicks, and it can't even get up into those wicks. So I clicked into a put here. We got in at 643 Pacific. As this is falling, we come down, we pull back, we fall. We have 1, 2, 3 minutes. This was my trigger to get out. This bar tried to go lower, looked like it wanted to come down here, couldn't, immediately suck back into this range, and I'm out there. So I'm in right here as this bar is opening and dropping. We're in at just below 508. And as this bounces and sucks back into the range, we are out at 506.35, 506.40 range. Okay, so another nice quick move. So we seem like we're basing out here, right? If we look at our 2 minute range, the body of this 2 minute candle, right in here, we're holding. There's wick below, there's wick above, but we're basing in here. So we come up, what do we see? Little micro H pattern right in here. So I decided to give this one a shot. Um, Again, wouldn't have been just totally surprised to see this come up here and then drop and try to go lower. That absolutely is a possibility, but I saw this as a really nice uh, risk to reward ratio opportunity. So I know that I can get in here, and anything that drops below that level, I don't want it anymore. I know that that's done for me, because I think if it gets below this level, I'm expecting it to come clear down to the low or a little lower. So I saw this as a really nice opportunity to get in. We're risking, 506.40. We're looking at 40 cents of price action. So depending on if you're trading options, futures, that's a pretty low risk opportunity there to set your stop. So I'm in here. We take this up and we get a nice one, pullback, two, we clear and we rest on top of the 21. That's usually a good sign that we're going to get another leg out. And what do we have? We have a leg up, rest. Look at that. Perfect measured move. Whenever we get impulse, you see the impulse from here to that same range. And then we rest, take that little trend line up. Where did we pull back to? 21. And we got a nice, perfect measured move. That's first leg impulse, second leg out, same distance out right there. Could this come back and go higher? Certainly can. So I took off I did take off my full position here, but as this pulled back and started to shoot back above, I added back in half. I did not put my full position in. Typically, what I would do on this is I would take off half here and hold the rest. But because of this range here, I went ahead and took it all off and I just waited. And since this one came down and rocketed back up and started clearing, I just added half of my original position back in, which would essentially be what I normally would have on. So I'm sticking with my normal trading plan, which is take half, hold half to see if we get the continuation. So I added back in, actually made a little bit extra because I got in below where I would have taken off, if that makes sense. So I get back in right here. And my risk is just going below this structure. This last impulse was a pretty aggressive impulse to break this high a day. And so as this one started to retreat, I was out. I was done right there. I didn't even wait to see if it goes higher. Felt like I was chasing just a little bit because I got in here and didn't want to hold any additional risk. I wanted to just take the profit off the table. All right, so let this go on, and I was content, honestly, to be done for the day at this point. Had a couple of nice trades. Felt like I got a little fortunate on this one, even though it stuck with my trading plan and it would have fit within the realm of my normal management style. I still thought, might have got a little lucky on that impulse there. So I decided to just kind of sit and chill for a little while. And I saw one more opportunity though that I really liked. And so because we finally broke those highs, and let's look at this. We broke the highs and we kept retesting into this 5 minute opening range. You can see this over here, a 5 minute range. So I like 5 minute ranges, I like 2 minute ranges, and I like 15 minute ranges. So the 15 were up here. We just chopped back and forth across it. We kept staying above it, kept closing above it. We kept sucking in, but look what we were dropping into. wicks, 5 minute range, wick, 5 minute range, wick, 5 minute range, wick, 5 minute range. So I kept seeing this dropping into this area and bouncing out, bouncing out. So this looked to me like a really good opportunity to potentially set up in the future. So we're right in here, and these wicks popping, popping, popping. Okay. So I saw, again, I don't use the oscillators as aggressively as I do my price. But what I do love when I see my oscillators doing this makes me happy. When I see the cycling up, cycling up, we're getting higher lows. And what are we seeing here? Prices dropping, but it's dropping not with a lot of It's not a lot of power drop. We're dropping here, we're churning up here. I love seeing the cycling. So I use my oscillators for cycling, timing. I don't necessarily use them for entry. I'm using my price action here for entry, but this is an amazing confluence for me right here. Okay. So what do we see? We see we're coming back into that same area over here, 5 minute chart. We're testing the top of that range. It keeps popping back above it. We see one more bar. We come off of this 21 here. We come right back into this same zone. We drop a little bit lower. And as this starts pushing up back into the range, when it recaptures the range, I'm in on this bar. So I'm in as this bar is rising right about 507.40. It was rising pretty quick. So I clicked in as it was moving between 35 and 40 cents. We reclaimed and immediately, again, super low risk trade for me because I'm not giving it any more than that wick. I'm not. I'm going to hover over the close button. If it drops back down to this level, I'm out. It really should stay in this range if it's going to go. So super low risk opportunity. We get in, we impulse up, we pull back, we impulse up. We start to turn into a C retrace, coming back into this same area. Again, look at this. Boom, boom, boom. Smash through it. U-turn starts to suck back into that range. I'm out. Right. This didn't clear. This should have cleared, rested on top. So if I'm going to stay in this, I want to see a little bit higher or churn and then go a little higher. And I want to see it pull right back on top here and then go into that 20 or that 200. Didn't do that. So I'm out. Thank you very much. See you later. Good night, Charlie. I am all done. This was another nice finish. Went up from 507.40. We'll be conservative, 507.40. We're out here at 509.70 ish. This was a beautiful, beautiful trade. That was it for me for the day. But I did like one more setup that I saw later. Again, if we're just trading the 5 minute chart, what do we have going on here? We're just channeling up. We keep retesting out of the 5 minute range, and then we get on top of the 15 minute range, and then we really go. So this was a beautiful trade here for anyone who's trading through the lunch hour. Um, I walked away. Honestly, I wasn't necessarily expecting a whole lot on a Friday before a holiday weekend, so I just walked away. But this was a really beautiful setup. We have all this basing in here, right? We're sitting up on 5 minute is moving nicely. Everything on our oscillators are cycling up nicely. So early entry is going to be right in this area, right? This is your lowest risk entry because you're just going to take your stop loss down here. So super low risk here, a little early, but look, maybe lower probability for some being below the 21 and the 200, but I'm looking at this as a narrowing state, right? So we're probably going to squeeze out side of it. If not, it's going to fail here and it's going to pull back. And so it's easy to kill this trade if it doesn't produce as you want. But we come out, we go flat, and then boom, beautiful. And I'm probably out here, honestly. But if you hold through this and you see this impulse and it pulls back, you're done. All right. So trade is over. Trade is over here. or maybe you scale out and then you finish the rest of the trade there. But another beautiful trade. I mean, 508 and a half all the way up to 511 and a half. I mean, it's beautiful $3 run. Time of day, like right in the middle of the lunch hour, East Coast lunch hour. It's not super common, but man, if you catch that, beautiful trade. That was it for me. Nothing else super compelling for me the rest of the day. This narrowing state here might have been interesting, but end of day, early close, just too many variables for me to be super interested in any of those trades, even though the charts look pretty good. So that's it for me today, folks. Now remember, I'm not here to ever tell you how you should trade. I just want to teach you more about how I trade and the way I tackle the markets each and every day. And if you got any value out of this, please drop in there, give me a comment, tell me what you learned, tell me what you'd like to learn more about so I can add into future videos. And until next time, I wish you all the best and happy trading.